Hello and welcome. It is time to try to fix something once again. And today, as you can see, I'm going to try my hand at fixing a PS5. Now this is the digital version, so no Blu-ray drive. This one, looking up in those vents, is pretty dirty. So maybe she hasn't been taken apart. But it's supposed to be, doesn't do anything. So let's go ahead and give that a try and find out. I thought I heard a pop there, like there was a little bit of standby power or something. Supposed to be. Oh, I'm looking for the eject button. There's no Blu-ray, so there's no eject button. Ah, no power. Huh. Pretty dead. I don't suppose I'm going to be lucky enough for this just to be a dead supply, am I? That would be very lucky indeed. So I guess I need to get these covers off and see if we've got plus 12, which should be there all the time. This is not in quite as good a shape as the last one I worked on, which was the first one I had ever worked on. Maybe she'll clean it up pretty good, but let's make it work first. Let me get these covers off and see if we got 12 volts or not. Okay, possibly from the home of a smoker. Maybe. Pretty darn dirty. Oh, and I just noticed, yeah, it looks like the security tape is still there. None of the screws are missing that I can tell. So this one may not have been opened yet. That would be nice. Well, I've got it down to the circuit board and the power supply, and well, it's not going to be a simple one. It looks like our power supply is good. We're getting a solid 12 volts out. So that means our problem is going to be here, somewhere on this large motherboard. So I need to get it inside of the workbench so I can maybe see a little bit better. We are inside at the workbench, and I'm just beginning to take a look at this thing, and I've got my bench power supply hooked up here to the terminals on the board, and I want to show you the current draw, which is the only piece of information I have right now. If I turn this on, 19 milliamps at most, and 5 or 6 milliamps holding, which I think it should do more like 30 milliamps. So whatever that means. But yeah, obviously she's not starting up as normal. Well, I've been doing a little bit of hunting around the board here, and let me show you what I've been looking at. Get my microscope to recording. We're going to be looking right in this area, right above where it says F7003, right in there. So that's where we're going to be looking. Let me switch to the microscope view, and I'll show you what I've been looking at. Of course, the current draw was not right on this thing, which is not surprising, I guess, since it doesn't work. Oops, trying to get everything set up. Not enough room. Never enough room. Okay. I'm in diode mode with my multimeter, and I'm looking at this chip, which is, I can't remember what this chip is. I have to clean it off and look, but it's obviously some kind of DC-DC converter. That's what I was just doing, is looking around the board for any of these. When you see these big inductors, these large capacitors, that's obviously some sort of digital, DC to DC converter, some kind. And I was looking around it, for shorts. That's ground. That's normal. Nothing obvious. I think that's ground right there. But over here, right about here, that is very, very low. That looks like a short. What is that? 0.016. But I have no idea where that goes. I have no idea if this is shorted or if where this goes is shorted. I don't know. Don't know enough about these things yet to know. But I decided, since I've got a short, and just looking at in the past at the PS4s, whenever there was a short on some of these PMICs, DC-DC converters, they were not bad. It was something else shorting them. And then that's when I decided to take a look at the other side of the board. Well, this is the back of our old friend, the South Bridge. This is the opposite side of the board from the South Bridge. And in here, there's obviously, multiple voltages coming in. You can see these big inductors right here carrying in voltages. I don't know what they are, I don't know what they should be, but they should not be shorted to ground like this right here. That's very, very shorted. That one's not, but that looks like an important one. I'm trying to make sure I'm in the picture. That is here's you can see a supply coming through a via here to this inductor, short. And that goes directly under that South Bridge. And I want to say there's some others under here. That had a low resistance. Now this one over here will throw people off. You see that diode? That's going to be from the CMOS battery. Like if you put that meter on there and you get a negative reading, yeah, there's voltage there. So don't let that fool you. So that's coming from the CMOS battery, which is still on the board. So let's look at some of these other ones though. Nope, nope, nope. But over here, nope. Over here, here's some more inductors coming on this side. That's short. And that's that same reading we had over there on my first reading on that DC-DC converter. 0.017, I'm sorry, 0.0017. So that may be coming from that, I haven't tried to follow it. Anyway, I think we've got a shorted South Bridge, which apparently on the 5s is just as common as it was on the 4s. They just die. But when I see, this is two different DC inputs that measure shorted, one there and another one over here. And I don't think they're the same. If I put a probe here and over here, little difference in voltage there. So I'm not sure if they're the exact same or not. But anyway, let's take a look at this thing. I don't have the number of this South Bridge. What is this thing? A 61 GG. I think we're going to need a 61 GG. Now I don't have one because I don't have a lot of parts for the 5 yet. But I'm going to get one on order because I'm pretty sure that's our culprit. That, how common it was in the 4s for those to cause a no power, no response of any kind, issue. So let me get that on order, and that's about as far as I can go for now. We will continue this when that comes in. Be my first South Bridge swap out on a PS5. All right, well, where are we now? It has been 3 weeks since I worked on this board last. I had to order the South Bridge I did not have in stock. They have since arrived. I have 3 of them, since they're about $33 each or something like that. So I think I'm going to probably end up using them pretty quickly. The South Bridge on these PS5 seems to be just as bad as they were on the PS4s before it. I had to refresh my memory a little bit, go back and look at the board, and I've marked a few capacitors here where the shorts were. You can see some black ink on there, and there's another one, a tiny one up in here somewhere. So just to remind myself what I had been doing. So we had what appears to be a shorted standby supply because of a shorted south bridge. So I'm going to get my preheater set up on the bench here, which pretty much takes up my entire bench, and see if we can get this board heated up and get this south bridge changed out. Well, the south bridge is on, and that took longer and took more heat than I was expecting. I guess I was expecting something similar to a PS4 board, and it was not. I normally flow with those on, I think at 320C, you know, from above. It takes like 1 minute if I'm preheating the board. That did not cut it. I nudged that chip and it just slid right over. So I had to raise to 340, and it took a couple of minutes, it seemed like, before it ever would start settling into place. So my very first one on a 5. Let's see if I can switch to the microscope view. And in the background, I'm sorry, you can hear my preheater trying to cool off back behind me. Makes a lot of noise, loud fans in that thing. On the microscope, you can see the capacitor I marked earlier that had the short across it. So let's see if we've done any good as far as clearing shorts. Got my meter in continuity mode, and I'll stick the red probe on ground. And what have we done? So 424 ohms, 425, let's call it. So our short is gone. And there's another one over here that was shorted right there, that little one. 425. It's the same supply, whatever that is. I measured earlier. It had a dead short between like here and, you know, this capacitor. So it's the same supply coming in two different places. So no surprise, the short is cleared on both of them. That's ground. And there's the supply side. Oh, let me get back in the picture. Yeah, 425 ohms. Okay, we've cleared our shorts. So maybe I need to get, let me get the 12 volt bench supply turned on. And let's just see if our standby supplies that were missing are there now. I think I'm ready to check the supply voltages now. I think I have not applied power to this board yet. I am very curious as to how much current we're going to draw over there. So I'm connected right here to the terminals, positive and negative, and I've got a lead from my probe on my ground probe on my meter. All right, let's just see. You know, before she drew like just a few milliamps, you know, 9. I think it settled at 9. See what she does now. Ooh, 300. Actually, I think she went current loading for a moment. That looked I'm thinking more promising. Let's see if I can look under the microscope. Let's see what that voltage happens to measure, if I can. I think I've got this board turned the same way as it was. It was right up over here. Nothing there. That's 3.3. What is this? 3.3. 1.14. What is this coming in? 5 volts coming in down here. What is this? Nothing there. Of course, some of these are probably runtime voltages that are not there. 1.98. They're not there until it actually is turned on. 5 volts coming in there. Okay. So I'm thinking this is like a 1.8, maybe 1.5. It's not there at the moment, but I'm guessing this is not turned on. But that current draw on power up looked very promising. So I guess we go back out and put it in the chassis, and let's see what happens. We are out in the garage again. I have this PS5 assembled just enough to test, I think. We need this ribbon because the power button is on that. This ribbon, I'm not really sure if I need that one or not. It looks like that's USB ports, so I did connect it though. And this one is for the lights, I believe. It goes around here. Yeah, for the LEDs, just so we can know. No fan. I have not bothered hooking up the Wi-Fi antennas. They're laying everywhere. And I have not connected power yet. But I do have HDMI hooked up because I am optimistic. Let's see what happens. Alright, we have AC in. A moment of truth. Look at that, come on. Blue light. Flashing. Nothing on the screen yet. Come on, do something. Alright, we locked. Screen locked. All right, I think we're doing a storage recovery. That looks promising. I'm still not sure how long I can leave this thing on without the fan, but probably for a minute or so anyway. Since we're not playing a game or doing anything intensive. Let me just feel this heat sink. Yeah, she's very slightly warm. I missed it if it had a white light or not. There's a white light. All right. Well, I think we've had some success here. My first Southbridge replacement on a PS5. And I'm sure there's going to be more coming because yeah, they fail a lot. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Hope that was somewhat entertaining, educational. Something. If it was, please give me a thumbs up. And I will see you in the next repair, which may be another PS5. I do have another one coming. I'll see you then. So long for now.